Since then, 59 people, I believe it still is, and hundreds more have been injured and 59 killed in the latest terror attack, this time in the United States. And it's sad, it's unfortunate. It breaks your spirit in a time when, this country's trying to get itself back on track, and it is sad. But one thing, when something like this happens, we're also kind of told not to really, almost not to get to the bottom of it, not to question much, not to change the subject from anything to, how sad it is, which it is, but we're told sort of not to look into it, not to dig much deeper than what we're told. And I mean, this is going to keep happening, honestly, if we don't solve what the actual problem is. And of course, the Democrats, including Paul Ryan and those who are also Democrats, but they go by the Republican label, they went on schedule pretty much to bring in their gun banning and their gun control and such. So for them, you can change the subject if it's that's one exception. You can, if you're talking about banning guns, grabbing them, banning ammunition for them and different types of firearms, and having that kind of a debate. Yeah, I mean, they'll forget about like they say, before the bodies are even cold. Hillary Clinton came out and put a tweet about something like that, and so did everybody else. That's the one exception that they're willing to make. When people are grieving, they're willing to come out just because they'd want to take away the guns on a good day, so any tragedy they have, they exploit, so they can do that. But yet, when people want to look into what really might be able to fix this, what the problem might be, they don't welcome that, and it's because, honestly, they want the unrest. Obviously, a lot don't want this prosperity that we're having. I mean, the optimism's at an all-time high. I just saw that again in Drudge today. I mean, that's... And then CNBC, of all the people that put that out, they tried to spin it, of course. They said that the record economic growth isn't helping the president's approval rating, which, those ratings, the same polls that sample Democrats at least 2/3 more than what they do from the right. But I mean, they don't want to see all these good things going on. And well, from what I've seen, this looks like a deep state false flag. Not only because they were so quick to go for the gun grabbing, that's expected, but just the timing of it and the information. It doesn't all add up. I mean, supposedly that guy's wife or whoever she was told these people in the audience that they're gonna die tonight, and nothing was done about that. And then the guy had this Antifa literature, and he had 400 firearms hauled up to his hotel, and he was just up there like that with them, and he put cameras up in the hallways, and nobody saw or nobody knew. And of course, the owner of that Mandalay, he's one of those Antifa people. He's given to them, and it just seems like, I mean, it's a false flag, and that it was set up. It actually did happen, and the guy that did it, he probably wanted to. I mean, that's why he was there at the time. They get people that are likely either to be gullible and do it or would do it anyway, but it looks more like an operation than that just some guy snapped, which is the same as what happened with Scalise. They went in there to kill all those Republican baseball players to try to have special elections, and he came back last week. Then nobody hardly said anything about it, but he even came out and he said that he's doubling down on the Second Amendment because his life probably got saved because the killer got killed by somebody who had a gun. But anyway, so the deep state, of course, that there's two sides to that. There's the good side that gives this kind of information, like that gives the sources to InfoWars and to the all these outlets. Then there's like the other side that's trying to get Trump out of office, and that's trying to plant evidence, that the kind that did that to Nixon and succeeded back then, before they had all that internet and before everybody was watching and before we all knew so much about it. And that looks to be the difference now. But I mean, they want this kind of unrest, so they did that. And then there was going to be this gun legislation to lax the laws, where you could carry pretty much more. You didn't have to have like a permit per state. So I mean, if you crossed the line and defended yourself, you wouldn't be the one to get in trouble. But of course, Paul Ryan said that that's going to be put on hold because of all these unfortunate times, so that has to be put on hold because it's unfortunate. But yet talking about gun control is not put on hold because it's unfortunate. It's that double talk. But anyway, what I think is behind this the most, and why this didn't used to happen, is because we have these different cultures here now that we didn't have before, and they don't have the same common goal. Like back when it was, say, like JFK and that party, and then running against Nixon and that party, they pretty much everyone had the same goal, except for those fringe people that rioted no matter what and didn't like the Vietnam War and such. But for the most part, people were headed in the same direction. They wanted what was best for America. They would have stood for the flag, the anthem, and it wasn't all this kind of strange stuff that's going on today. I mean, so when this whole nation had that kind of unity, but today we have two main cultures. There's the alt-left, the Antifa, they're anti-American. They destroy stuff and riot and pretty much just, they oppose anything that has to do with American traditions. And that's not getting away, that's getting worse. Oh, and the guy that was the shooter, he was also trained by ISIS and given an ISIS name and such, but they haven't declared it to be terrorism, which, anyway. But so you have them way on the left, and basically they're going against the goal that Americans have always had, to make it better, to make it prosperous, to make it be put first because they happen to be in this country, to want it to come first, to maybe want things regulated, not have just everybody pouring on in. I mean, being an American immigrant used to actually mean something. You used to have to come on your own. There wasn't welfare waiting for you if you touched down at the border. It was different, so people had more pride. You have more pride whenever you see what your ancestors did, what they built and what they earned and what they did and the history. It was different. So the other culture you have is the alt-right, which is that kind of that American that the founding fathers had, the Constitution, the amendments, the exercising the Second Amendment right, the NRA, the flag, apple pie, like everything that's good about America, pretty much, and everything